What is up, guys? I am back with another Borderlands video, and today I'm talking about Borderlands 2 and 3. Now, I think in Borderlands 2 there's a lot better things than Borderlands 3. Now, don't get me wrong, Borderlands 3 is a very amazing game in the series, but I think there's just some things Borderlands 2 did better. Now, you may or may not agree with me, or you might agree with me, but hopefully you guys enjoy the video, so let's get started. Slag versus radiation. So guys, I think Borderlands 2 has my favorite element ever, and it's Slag. Slag is just such a cool concept that it came from Pandora after the first vault opens, and now Handsome Jack figured out a way to use it in weapons and how to, just make it a lot more useful. I think its best uses is especially during badass mode. Now, when you're on your third run through, you definitely want Slag just because those enemies are tough and they regenerate their health, but Slag also is a damage booster. So once you fully slag the enemy and you shoot them with any other gun besides Slag, they will die decently fast. So that's what I have to say about Slag here. In radiation, I have no problem with it. It's actually a real good element, especially when enemies are near a radiated enemy, because the explosion just kind of carries over them and does more damage. But truthfully, I could care less about this. As I said, it's not a bad element, but I wish Slag was still in Borderlands 3, because it still makes sense that Borderlands 3 would have Slag weapons, just because you begin on Pandora, and I'm sure there's still a whole bunch of Slag weapons somewhere on this planet, except for maybe after Reese takes over Hyperion and makes Atlas again, he gets rid of all of these Slag weapons. I have no clue what happened to him, but I will say this: I do love Slag so much that I can't. It just does. Borderlands 2 does it better. BL2. Now, when I talk about DLC, I'm not talking about what 4 different DLCs are better. There is one thing in particular I like to talk about in this video. Well, in this part of this video at least. So don't get me wrong, both DLCs, like all 4 different maps and all that, are great. They are fantastic. There's nothing wrong with any of them, especially from 2 or 3. There's nothing to change about them. But there's one thing about DLC I want to change, is the characters. Now, in Borderlands 2, we got 2 new characters, Krieg and Gage, which I think was such a game changer that it just brought so much more content to the game, so much more fun, new characters to, discover and all that. That's why I just think this part of the DLC for the games is just way better. Okay, and now for Borderlands 3 DLC, this is kind of a disappointment, but it's also not bad, if that makes sense. With this, I just don't enjoy the fact that we got an extra tree instead of 2 new characters. And I know that's probably stupid to say, because each game's not gonna have more than 4 characters. Even the pre-sequel did 2 more characters, and I guess they are basically important to the storylines of the DLC and the main. But honestly, I'd rather have 2 new characters than an extra tree that has good abilities but also doesn't. All right, guys, and the last one I want to talk about here is the storyline. Now, I don't know about you guys, but when I first played Borderlands 3 for the first time, the storyline kind of made me very mad. Now, it's not just because the story's bad, it's just the main bosses, Troy and Tyreen. I don't know why. Maybe that's their character development, or the way they talk, or just the way they exist. I just absolutely did not enjoy them as main bosses. I know that, as I said, it's not gonna make sense to you, but I just have a lot of Borderlands 2 pride, I guess. if that's the right words I'm going with, because I love Handsome Jack as a main boss, as a main character boss, like a main villain arc. Just something about Handsome Jack just makes me think no boss is going to live up to his standard. Like, Handsome Jack is a super funny, super, you know, I don't know, it's just something about Handsome Jack makes me think, hey, that's a boss that could live in my mind forever. It's not just because he's a super hard boss, it's not just because, you know, anything else. I think it's just his character as a, you know, person and as a villain. Really, I don't know, I just enjoy Handsome Jack a lot. And it just, when I started playing Borderlands 3, just how overpowered Tyreen and Troy were, pretty much just taking Lilith's powers right off the bat, killing Maya, and it just kind of made me think, did they just write like the most overpowered boss in any Borderlands series ever? Because this is just a little ridiculous in my mind. Now, don't get me wrong, it's very satisfying to, you know, get rid of those two, but I don't know. Maybe you guys can make sense of it, because I'm lost for words, especially during this last part. It just, something about Handsome Jack being the final boss of Borderlands 2 versus Tyreen and, you know, Troy. I just feel like Handsome Jack takes the cake. I said, he's funny, he has a lot of charisma, he does, I don't know, maybe because he's just a little bit goofy too. And when you have two sirens pretty much as the final boss, that kind of just, I just throw them in the trash, as I say. But those are my thoughts on Borderlands 2 and everything I enjoy about it, more about Borderlands 3. Now, if you disagree, I can understand. But as I said, Borderlands 3 is still a very fun and great game. I'm not saying it's not good because it's not Borderlands 2. I just think Borderlands 2 is my all-time favorite Borderlands game. And I'm sure a lot of you have the same feelings, like you think Borderlands 2 is the best out of the whole series, but you know what? My opinion, my thoughts. So, hey guys, thank you for stopping by and watching this video. I appreciate you guys so much for watching. Let me know what you thought in the comments below, and let me know what's your favorite thing about Borderlands 2 and Borderlands 3, or what's your least favorite thing about Borderlands 2 and Borderlands 3. But yeah guys, I appreciate you sticking by, and I'll see you very soon in the next video. Peace and hair grease, y'all.